everyone, it's Jessica here with another layout for the Not Just for Boys Kit Club. Today I'm using the Powerhouse kit from March 2024, and if you guys have boys or even just outdoor things or anything with maybe like a guy friend to scrap, this is your jam. I'm using that sketch that I just showed that Meredy created for us for this month's sketch challenge, and I am starting off by cutting my large circle element with my We Are memory keepers, circle cutter, that's what it's called. And I am just cutting a circle at, I think it was 11 inches. I think I tried to go 11 and a half and it was too big, or I don't know. I think it just was going to fall off my paper for some reason. So I ended up doing 11 inches just to be on the safe side. And I think it was 11, but I don't know. It just kind of seemed like I was trying to do a circle too big for my paper for some reason. So I think that's why I shifted it down to 11, and I distressed the edges like that. I'm going to leave it off center there and hanging off the edge like Meredy's sketch has. And I have my date here on the back of my photo because I put all the dates on the backs of my photos when I print them here at home. And that's how I keep them in chronological order in my scrapbooks and know what I have to scrap. So I've programmed that date into my date stamp there. I matted it with some white cardstock, and I'm going to build up some layers behind my photo using the papers from the small paper pad. And I'm actually going to pull this sheet out as well and cut some things off of here. And then there's another cut apart sheet that comes with the kit as well in 12 by 12 size that I'm going to cut things out of as well. This is from the Mr. Fix-It collection, which is super grungy and cool, and I just love it for scrapbooking boys. So it's just right up my alley, and I love it. So I'm going to cut some things off of there. I'm going to mat my photo with some more layers from this paper pad and using some of these kind of metal-looking papers, which are super fun. And then, again, distressing. Woo, that's hard. Words are just hard today. Distressing the edges of my photo and doing some fussy cutting here. So I'm going to fast forward this so you don't have to watch me do all that. What I did here is I actually used some dies that I had by Paper Rose Studio, cut out a whole bunch of those little gears, and then I did some fussy cutting on that large paper. I'm still kind of working on my layers on my photo at this point. I wanted to create some more layers and add a couple more things. So this one I'm just hi. And my baby girl just walked by and said hi. So I am just adding some more layers behind the photo, and I am going to open up this pack of ephemera that comes with this kit, see what I can use from here. I ended up only pulling out a couple tags to use, so I'm just going to tuck these in behind my photo and use those. I'm going to cut some holes in them and run the twine that the kit came wrapped in through the tags and just kind of make them twirly and fun. And then here I'm just having a play with the things that I cut out of the paper sheets and just arranging them in little clusters. Meredy's sketch design looked like it had some gear stenciling, and this kit does come with a gear stencil, but I ended up not using it on this because my paper is so dark and I didn't really want a stenciled look in mine. I wanted to build up my layers by using my my dies that I have here. So I have just run this through with one of the papers from the kit that has like that lighter newspaper kind of look to it, and I ran it through my machine a couple times and got a whole bunch of these gears cut all at once. So I'm just going to scatter them on my page like her sketch design has in some of the clusters and kind of around that circle. And I'm actually going to pull out some alphabet letters from one of the previous kits from the shop and use my title from there. So I've got all these gears here. I'm going to fast forward this. You don't have to watch me glue down every single one, but I'm just using my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive to glue them down. You can grab that from the shop as well. It's one of my favorite adhesives and it dries clear. So if anything seeps out, you're never going to see it. But I just wanted to glue most of these down here. I think most of them are down at this point. And then I will move on by pulling out some of the wooden little gears that come in this kit, which I absolutely love because there's so many things that you can do with those wooden embellishments. You can You can color them in with inks or markers, anything like that. You can spritz them. You can emboss them with embossing powder and Versamark ink, which is my favorite thing to do with the wood embellishments, and that's what I'm going to do here today. So I'm just finishing up this little cluster down here and adding a couple more things in here. And then I will pull out my alphabet letters here. This is from a previous kit. They're kind of ombre blue. I thought this would be cute on here. It looks a little bit crooked here, but I did end up pulling them off and adding Nuvo glue to them after I already photographed the layout because they were kind of popping up before I even put it into my book. So I thought, these aren't really sticky, and I bet these aren't going to last over time, so I better reinforce them. And then I did actually straighten them out a little bit at that point too. So it kind of looks wonky right now, but I ended up fixing it. So here I've got my wooden gears laid out where I want them. I'm going to go ahead and put this pack away because I'm really not going to use anything else besides the circle. So I'm just tucking a piece of it in here on the side just to give it a little bit more pop of color over there. And I'm going to put that all away because I'm pretty much done with that. I'm not going to add anything else from that pack. This drill, I kept trying to make work, but I didn't want it pointing right at his head. So I ended up not even using that one. So here is what I'm doing with my wooden pieces. I'm just kind of tapping them on that Versamark ink and kind of smushing them into that ink pad and then dumping my embossing powder right on top of them. And then I'm going to pick them up with my tweezers and use my heat gun on them. But I kind of go in from underneath at first just to get it kind of set like this, because if I went in straight away on the top, it kind of just blows it all off. So you want to kind of heat that up a little bit so it gets a little bit stickiness and then kind of go in at the top. So then it's not just blowing all of that off. But they ended up turning out kind of like a gunmetal color. I think it's called platinum, but it's really pretty. It's a nice pretty color. It just looks like metal. So it's just the perfect color to make these little gears, and they kind of blend in on this camera. It's hard to see what color they actually are from my lighting and things, but they just look really cool, like a nice little well, platinum, but it's kind of almost a bronzy color to them. So I'm just adding a few more of those little gears just to fill in some little potholes in my layouts, as I like to call them. And then I'm sprinkling on my sequins. I like to do this whenever I want a really random look, but I want them kind of in clusters. So I just pick a bunch up with my fingers and then I just kind of dump them onto my layout. And then I use my sequin tool to actually adhere them down with my Nuvo glue. So I just kind of go in with both my hands real quick like this and just pick it up, glue it down. Just really fast, super simple and easy. And I like to use my sequin tool that I got from Amazon. So I'll link it below in case anybody wants to grab it, because I know, hi baby, I know I get a lot of questions about my sequin tool that I use. So lastly, I'm just going to add a little bit to the top of my photo. These little tags here are from the packaging from the acrylic pieces from this kit. And all of our packaging, which I love, comes with these little tag pieces or some kind of reusable packaging on them. So this one has these little color part labels, and I'm using one to stamp my date on here. I'm just roughing up the edges just with my fingernails, and then I'm going to stick that at the top of my photo. But I felt like it still needed something, like a little wordy bit or something. So I actually pulled out a little pack of ephemera from 49 and Market, just that's in my stash, and it's actually just laying beside me here. So I'm just tucking this piece of paper in. I just wanted one more layer on here because, you know, you just need one more layer, right? So sometimes I don't know when to stop. But I'm tucking that in there, and then I'm going to grab this twine and thread through here, and then I will add that little wordy bit to my date just down below it. But I wanted to twirl this twine around and just kind of stick it down because it was all willy-nilly and kind of wanting to go every which way and not the way that I wanted to. So I just used a little dab of Nuvo glue to get it to go where I want and stay put. So there I'm just snipping the end so it wasn't still together in a little loop there. But that is the entire piece of twine that my kit came wrapped in. So I guess I won't have any more for any layouts for the rest of the month, but I really like the way that it looks. So I'm going to add a couple more little gears here, just some little ones. I'm going to add one more, and then I think I had one more to the bottom to just kind of leave it overhang because Meredith's sketch looked like it had one at the bottom that was overhanging. So I'm going to add one there too. But I tried to stick pretty close to the sketch. The only difference with mine is that I just used 1 photo versus 4 like hers had. But I think I did pretty well adapting the sketch to my needs. I tend to go with 1 or 2 photos, but I like more photos on a page. I tend to make more kind of artwork pieces versus photo album, if you will. But here is the last little bit that I'm adding, and I'm going to hang this one up on the wall for a bit to display. So here is the finished layout. This is my husband, if I didn't mention that already. He's definitely my Mr. Fix-It guy. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video and this process, and I hope you have time to get crafty and grab this kit from the shop. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.